was obviously an open and shut case right from the beginning with all of the witnesses and the physical evidence. And I don't think it probably could have been handled in any better fashion than it really was.
But from the outset, there were discrepancies in the evidence, which shows that Saran might not have been the only gunman to have fired. The Los Angeles police dismissed or ignored these discrepancies.
Well, it appears that they concluded within about an hour's time that Saran acted alone, or that was going to be their conclusion, and they thereafter tailored all of the evidence to fit that conclusion.
Sirhan's lawyer, Russell Parsons' trial strategy may have unwittingly assisted in the suppression of the evidence by never bringing up these crucial points. He even cut short the autopsy evidence, which would have proved Saran could not have killed Kennedy. Instead, he persuaded Saran to admit the shooting, but plead diminished responsibility, as he could remember nothing about it and still doesn't.
But I tried a lot of lawsuits and delayed.
A major discrepancy in the evidence was the distance between Saran and Robert Kennedy. The autopsy showed that the shots which hit Kennedy were fired from a distance of no more than 3 inches.
A gunshot wound was found behind the right ear, and there were abundance of a powder deposit on the edge of the right ear, and after testifying the similar weapon, we came to conclusion that the muzzle distance would be a 1 inch from the right ear edge and no more than 3 inches.
But LAPD's own star witness, Carl Yucca, who was the closest to Kennedy in the pantry, insists that Saran's gun never got that close.
How far would the gun muzzle be from Senator Kennedy's head?
About 1.5 feet, I would say 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
Yucca's evidence was never heard at the trial, yet it was supported by all other eyewitnesses in the pantry.
The muzzle of Sirhan's gun was 2 to 3 feet away from Senator Kennedy's head. The gun was at least 2 feet away at all times. The closest the muzzle of the gun got to Senator Kennedy was approximately 3 feet.
Los Angeles police knew the evidence contradicted their version of events. They even filmed a series of reconstructions using witnesses like Carl Yucca. Yucca repeatedly told the police that Saran's gun never came within 1.5 feet of Kennedy, and could not therefore have fired the shots which the autopsy showed had killed him. These reconstructions have been kept under lock and key since 1969. LAPD has never acknowledged their existence. A similar set of reconstructions was filmed by the Los Angeles District Attorney, with eyewitness Lisa Urso. In them, Urso can be heard placing Saran several feet away from Senator Kennedy.
The person who had the gun in their hand was about 3 or 4 feet from the senator, and stopped to shake hands. And at the same time, turned to shake hands. Somebody brushed my side. It looked as if they were going to shake hands with the senator. And about a foot in front of me, I saw him reach around to his left side and pulled out something. And in that minute, a few moments, I saw the gun at the top of his head. I saw fire come out of the gun. About that time.
This film has never been seen before. The District Attorney's Office has never released it. The official reconstruction shows that Saran was always in front of Senator Kennedy. This is supported by all the eyewitnesses who insisted that Saran was in front of Kennedy at all times. Yet the autopsy said that the shots that killed Kennedy were fired from behind. So how could Saran have been in a position to shoot the senator?
Was it possible for Saran to get behind you and behind Senator Kennedy and shoot from behind?
No, this was completely impossible, because Saran was in front of me, and he didn't have no way to go behind me.
Another major discrepancy is the bullet trajectory analysis, drawn up by LAPD criminalist Wayne Wolfer. Bullet 8, which he showed hitting Mary Evans on a downward ricochet, never happened. Mary Evans' medical report states quite clearly she was hit by a bullet travelling upwards. LAPD's account of the bullet which wounded Paul Schrade in the forehead is equally fantastic.
The police said it had gone through the shoulder area of Bob's coat, didn't hit his body, entered in and came out near the seam. We found photographs in the Los Angeles Police Department that showed a police officer wearing Robert Kennedy's coat, and a rod had been put through those two holes to show the bullet path, which went in a steep upward direction away from me. So it really seems strange to me, a bullet that's going through the coat and at this upward direction away from me would hit me in the head. I would have had to have my head on Robert Kennedy's shoulder for that shot to have hit me, or been 9 feet tall.
What is interesting is that you have probably 6, 7, 8 good eyewitnesses who were right there, who have never wavered from what their original statements were. And in that instance, they are probably very reliable.
But these discrepancies between the eyewitness evidence and the LAPD case didn't worry Attorney General Ethel Younger.
Oh, I don't think there were any major discrepancies. If somebody says 1 inch and somebody else says 2 inches, that's a discrepancy. But the jury didn't think it was a significant discrepancy, and neither did I.
But none of the conflicting eyewitness evidence was ever put before the jury. The LAPD case rested on the ballistics report drawn up by its chief criminalist, Dwayne Wolfer.
I think that there's no doubt that the courts all around this land who have entertained his testimony and in other countries where he's gathered evidence share my opinion that he is a man who is extremely sound and extremely scientific and extremely qualified.
Throughout its inquiries, Los Angeles police maintained an unshakable confidence in its forensics expert. In 2 other cases, courts have rejected his evidence completely. One judge described his testimony as negligently false, borders on perjury, and is at least given with a reckless disregard for the truth. In the Kennedy case, his account of the number of bullets is directly contradicted by the FBI and its own scene of crime officer.
Probably upwards of 90% of that forensic evidence was badly mismanaged.
The FBI found another major discrepancy in the LAPD case. In the center divider, its scene of crime officers found 2 .22 caliber bullet holes.
The importance of those 2 holes is that they would be 2 more bullets than Sirhan's gun was capable of firing. Sirhan's gun fired 8 bullets. According to the Los Angeles Police Department, they have accounted for all 8 bullets, and in their accountability, those 2 holes in the center divider do not figure into it.
The FBI report states that its officers ultimately located 4 extra bullets in the woodwork, taking the total to 12. Remember, any more than 8 bullets in the pantry means there had to be a second gunman. In fact, more than 10 police officers later made statements that they saw evidence of bullets in the pantry woodwork.
I observed what appeared to be a small caliber bullet lodged in a door jamb. I saw quite a few bullet holes. One of the investigators said, "We've just pulled a bullet out of here." I recall a man trying to take a bullet out of the door frame with a silver knife. I remember taking lots of pictures of bullet holes.
Dwayne Wolfer also marked the holes using string to illustrate the bullet trajectory. Despite this testimony from its own officers, LAPD now insists the marks it photographed were merely nail holes.
That's completely false and erroneous. I was there right at that moment and observed it, and they were positively bullet holes. Anyone who's saying anything other than that didn't actually see those holes the way I saw them and does not know what they're talking about.